I am very aware that I've already done this review of August of last year. Reasons why it's not on the channel anymore is because it's absolutely atrocious, and you're going to see what I mean in a second. That is Future Me's problem, but
6 inches,
that
or
is
a little
basically
above,
it for this video.
8,
Now,
but here
I don't know what happened there. So we're starting this off fresh with taking a look at these guys properly. We have here the Electro from No Way Home and the Lizard from No Way Home. Both figures I have been excited for last year. They're still pretty cool this year, but last year they were pretty nice. But today we're taking a look at both of these figures, and I am honestly kind of excited to be back into the swing of things. No pun intended. Ha 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 ha! Kill me. Anyways, I'm very excited to be looking at these two. They are great looking figures, and I think that they deserve a proper video without any interruption. So before we start this, of course, subscribe if you don't. That's totally fine. And Instagrams. You know what to do. Anyways, we're starting this review off as we did last year, which taking a look at one of them each at a time. And I'm very excited for both of these guys because they're both very cool figures. And it pretty much finishes off the wave of No Way Home figures that I have been collecting. And I still have all of them to this day. You know, usually when I take a look at older figures, I've either sold them or really don't have an interest in them anymore. And I still do. I would love to have my No Way Home display again, but I do not have the room for that right now, and I love other things. So of course, we're taking a look at Electro first. So Electro, I'm pretty excited because I remember liking him when the video came out, but I don't really care for him now because he's got a little bit of an issue going on here. And that's mainly because they sell them as, I guess they sold them as like a deluxe figure, so I paid a little bit more than a normal Marvel Legends, when obviously he should be like Marvel Legends price, to be honest. So he looks great. He has some information if you want to take a look at that, and we're going to open him right up. So getting him out of the box, you can see that he comes with not really much of anything. The only interesting things that he comes with is the electric pieces. Everything else is pretty much like a standard figure. This figure I think costs like $35. He looks pretty okay. He does come with some extra hands as well, but we're going to take a look at those in more detail in a little bit later on. I do like the back covering. I think that it is really cool. I love the spider emblem with the spider webs and just the overall look of it. I love the yellow as well. I think that looks great. But getting Electro out here, I would say first impressions, he looks great. I think that they did a really good job with capturing the look of Electro from the movie. And, you know, the movie's been out for however many years when this figure came out. Maybe even 2 years since, I think. But they did a pretty good job with getting everything right, I think. I think everything looks good. I love the wiring that they got going on here. Everything looks great. He looks pretty swell so far. I love the detailings here and there. I know a lot of people did complain about this figure, and I understand why, and I do have two big complaints, actually probably three, about this figure, but overall the looks of everything and how he's painted, I think are pretty good so far. He has a lot of different details here and there, and I really love just the components that they have everywhere, and I love the entire face, which we'll take a look at a little bit closely, but everything else looks great. I really do like the details of this guy, and it just looks good. I mean, there's not much else to say. He looks good. Painting is pretty decent. There's some areas that look like they're missing some paint in some spots. There is no arc reactor, which kind of sucks that there's nothing there. That is a bummer, but everything else I think looks pretty good. These little wires do kind of clip onto these little slots here, but they kind of pop out from time to time, so that's annoying. The wires is definitely one of those annoying things that I have on my list. So that's number one, that what I don't really care for about this figure. The wires suck. They don't like to pop into place properly, and yeah, they just look a little off when they're not plugged in, and there's these like ugly holes that are there, especially on this side, and they even broke on me. So I don't know if that, I don't remember if the video shows that, but they do get out of the way in some areas, especially the arms, but again, they just pop right off, which kind of sucks. But I guess it makes sense because if you are posing this guy and you do want the wires there, the popping off really, helps it from, posing and stuff. But yeah, I just, it didn't help at all, because I think one of my main points in this video was I did like that some of these little parts did pop off, because if you're posing it, you don't want the wires to break or anything when you're posing it, so it's kind of a good thing to have. It kind of reminds me of the Mechagodzilla with the spring designs and the thigh areas, if you guys remember that at all. That's a very odd thing to bring up, but that's just what it reminds me of. And yeah, it just kind of pops off, so if you're doing some kind of weird dynamic poses, it won't break the wires. They're just rubber wires, they're not real wires, but yeah, it won't break when they pop off, but that ends up not being the case because mine did break, and I don't know if I show that, but I'll show that probably later on if I remember. Looks pretty decent overall. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. I think he does look pretty decent. He does have some good articulation, because I think every Marvel Legends does have the very nice hinge joint at the neck that makes him look up that far, down that far, has some nice side to side, and of course a full rotation as well. Always love the Marvel Legends posability so far, and I really do like that, and I love that he can just look all the way up. Definitely saying more than what you could say about Mattel, because Mattel sucks when it comes to their looking up. So anyways, arm can go out that far. With the wires there, though, he can't do a full rotation, so that does suck. The wires do pop off, so you can get a little bit more range, but yeah, still, if you do have this figure, be very careful, because the wires do snap, and it sucks. Arm can go out that far. Has a pretty decent bicep swivel here. Nice double bend at the elbow, which is very tight at this last one, which I do get. Boom. There we go. Now you can flex properly. He has a very nice swivel at the wrist with, of course, a hinge joint, which every Marvel Legends has. The posability is pretty standard, pretty much what I'm saying. Has two different points of articulation here. He has one at the whole entire torso, or this chest area, which can go side to side. There's a little bit of side to side at the waist area too. Has a very nice crunch, which I really do like, and a pretty decent, bend at the back there. Has some nice swivel side to side, which I really do like, and has a very nice spread. I really do like that. Leg can kick out that far, can go back to probably that far. Has a swivel at the thigh area, which goes pretty far, but of course, be careful with those little wires there. Has a double bend at the knee. Swivel at the foot with a little bit of an up and down, and a pivot. I don't think I did a swivel. I don't think that's what I did. And boom, there it is. I knew I put that in the video. There's the snappage, that little bastard. Yeah, that sucks. No matter how many times it unplugs on me, it's still gonna break like that, and that really does suck, which, yeah, it just doesn't work out too well. Maybe there should have been another point where I could have unplugged it, or you should have just did a completely different design. I don't know, but yeah, that definitely does stress it out when you're bending the leg. It sucks. It always sucks to see, and even gluing it didn't work that well, and it's currently still broken on my shelf, but yeah, that does suck. I do like how they did the top part a little bit more, so you can have it actually rotate all the way around with these parts unplugging, but still, man, you just got to be careful with this figure, because those wires like to pop off a lot. There has to be some different way you could have done this. That's just kind of my opinion on it. But that's basically all I have to say. I mean, I really don't know what else you could have done to prevent that. Maybe just make it better. I don't know. Anyways, the elbow joint, I think, would be another thing that you would have to worry about snapping, because if you're doing that double bend, maybe it could stress out that part too much. So yeah, does suck, and a little sad to see. I have a lot of footage here. I must have been talking a lot. I don't usually talk too much in my videos as much. Usually my videos come out to like 11 minutes long, because I say everything that I need to say. That's the glory of doing post voiceover, so I'm not completely rambling unlike I am now. But the figure himself looks great. I do like the way he looks. He does come with some accessories. Not a lot. Yeah, that's just kind of sad to see, to be honest. So the first head sculpt we get is the Electro head sculpt, which I really do like. I think it looks awesome. I think it captures Electro perfectly, and I really love how the movie design incorporated the mask look. I think that's beautiful, and I love how the figure has that. My only gripe is that I wish that it came with a normal face. I think that would have just been great, because he doesn't have this the entire time. He's mostly in like a normal form, so yeah, that kind of sucks that we don't have that. He does come with 2 pairs of hands. He's got these nice closed fist hands, which do look nice, has some pretty good detail there. I really do like everything going on there. Nothing crazy in terms of everything. It does have some nice open palm hands as well, which also look nice. Again, nothing crazy. Honestly, I kind of miss this style of reviewing, but it's whatever. I like my rotating turntable, automatic turntable, a lot more than the spinny one that I did have before. He does come with 2 Electro charges, which does that, you know, does that help with the price? No, but it does look cool when they're all on him. I think that looks nice. It would have been cool if they gave us a flight stand. I think that would have been nice. I think he looks great when he's in the air. I think that's awesome. It's kind of hard to figure out where to put his arms through, but there are these little wrist pegs here that, you know, go onto the wrist as usual. I didn't notice that for the longest time until making this video, and then I was like, wow, he actually has wrist things, so he can actually connect it to the wrist so it doesn't flop everywhere. That's pretty cool, and honestly, I kind of forgot about it now. I think he's on the shelf right now with them just kind of limp dick on his arms. So yeah, I think it looks pretty cool though, and I'm pretty happy about that. I think he pairs very well next to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I think they're definitely meant to be posed together, and honestly, I think I had a lot of fun doing this pose here. I think that's a really cool pose. For size comparison, here he is next to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, here he is next to the Ultimate Rhea Ripley figure, and here he is next to the NECA Frankenstein. I kind of miss doing these size comparisons. I probably might need to go back to doing that because I think that's really cool. Anyways, Electro's great. He's not really the best. I would say, yeah, I'd say he's my least favorite out of the 2. But here we have Lizard. Lizard, on the other hand, looks great. I am very excited about the Lizard here. The box art is pretty much the same, just, you know, everything that was Electro is now taken out and replaced with the Lizard. Of course, he's got his little, you know, thing that you can read up on if you want. Box looks pretty good. I like it. I don't have the box anymore because I don't care. Looks pretty good. I am very excited to get this Lizard out. A lot of people were a little skeptical from what I remember, because I believe this was an older figure body, but it works so well, and I'm very happy with the way it looks. And he does come with a pretty decent amount of accessories, and how big he is, and he does come with the big tail. I honestly think he's worth the price. I think that this definitely kind of counts as the deluxe. I would say probably way more than Electro, but overall he looks great, and so far I love him. I think he looks awesome. I can definitely understand some of the criticisms, especially at the neck part, but I love him. The scaling looks so good all over the body. I really love everything that we got going on here. The entire neck part definitely is the part that everyone was upset about, but yeah, that was a long time ago, but that doesn't even feel that long ago. It was last year, but still, it feels like a long time ago. The tail looks nice. I really do like the way the tail looks. I love the way the feet look too. I just love how they just have that reptilian look to them and how they're posed and stuff. I love that. The scaling, again, just looks so good on this figure, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. The main complaint here, of course, being the neck part. I think everyone was so upset about that. You know, from everywhere where I was looking, I was completely fine with it. It definitely looked a little funny, and it still does look a little funny, but honestly, it really doesn't bother me that much. I think it looks pretty good so far. When it comes to posability, he can look up that far, which is pretty far so far, and he does have a rotation at that whole entire neck piece, which he can look up pretty far and down pretty far. And I believe that entire segment is a kind of hinge joint area. It does have some nice side to side, and there's barely a swivel here, but it can do a full rotation. So that is pretty cool, but it's mostly a hinge joint that helps it go up and down, which is pretty nice. And you can kind of get that hunched look. Once you get that hunched look, I think it looks so much better. Arm can go out that far, has a full rotation, has a pretty nice bicep swivel, has a pretty good double bend at the elbow, which I really do like. Standard, of course, with Marvel Legends, a swivel at the wrist with a hinge joint as well. What's really cool is that the waist swivel is pretty mobile. I really do like the way it looks. It feels nice. It goes up, down, back, forth pretty far. I love it. Legs can go out that far. Can spread pretty far, has a nice swivel. Back can go pretty decently far, a lot more than Electro. Nice swivel at the thigh area, pretty good bend at the knee, up and down at the foot, as well as a pivot, which works pretty well. It's a pretty beautiful pivot right there. Tail also can go up and down as well because it is on a hinge joint. Looks a little funny when you kind of, leave it at a down pose, but it is pretty cool. Has a nice swivel as well. No wire, no bendy wire or anything like a Godzilla figure, but he does look pretty cool. And again, he pairs very well next to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which I really do like. He does come with some accessories, not a lot, but some. He does come with a beautiful head sculpt here, which I really do like. I love just how normal it looks. I love the painting. I love the different shades of green that are going on there. I think that's really awesome. And the face expression I do like. I think it looks pretty good. The next expression was kind of hard to put on that stand. Looks great. I love the yelling expression, and I love that you could see everything underneath. The teeth, I kind of wish were more sharp looking because they just kind of look a little mid. But I love everything else about it. I kind of wish there was more of a gloss there too. But everything else that I said about the last head sculpt with the shades and sculpting looks great. And I love the expression here. He definitely looks pretty mean. I would have just maybe liked some sharper teeth. I don't know if that's actually the design here or what. But yeah, here are the two head sculpts side by side. I think I prefer the yelling head or the biting head. Just needed some sharper teeth, that's all. He does come with two different types of hands, and he does, I think there's more than that, I think. He comes with the closed fist and a grabby hand, basically, and that's for the left and right side, basically. I don't know why I'm showing them like this. This is kind of an odd way to do it. I don't remember. I don't care to remember. He also does have some open palm hands as well. What's really cool is that one hand does have more fingers than the other. You can see one has all 5 fingers while the other one has 4, which is pretty cool. I really do like that. I think that's awesome. That's such a cool thing that they captured with this figure. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I think that's pretty much why I put them together. I understand now to show you guys the open palm hands and the one hand that's like 2 fingers fused together. That's what it looks like. But all in all, I really love this lizard figure. I think they did a fantastic job with how this lizard looks. Way more than the Electro figure, to be honest. And I think that they pair very well to the No Way Home set. And I think they just look so good overall next to an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And I am just a huge fan of this entire line so far. And it is sad that it's ended. And I'm pretty happy that I was able to do another voiceover so I can fully respect these figures. Because honestly, these figures need as much respect, especially this lizard, because he looks so cool. Honestly, I think the Green Goblin and the lizard are the 2 best villains of this wave. That's just my opinion. I really love both of them, but they do look pretty good. Size comparison, here he is next to our previously talked about Electro. And here they are with a little bit of a measurement, if you want to get a little bit more technical with it, I guess. But they both look good together. Here he is next to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Pretty big figure so far. Here he is next to the Ultimate Rhea Ripley. And here he is next to the NECA Frankenstein. Great figures, and they look great on my Spider-Man shelf. This is what it looked like before. It doesn't look like this now. I don't have a Spider-Man shelf now. It's just kind of a mix mash of Marvel Legends figures because I don't really collect Marvel Legends as much as I used to. I'm a big NECA guy, and yeah. Somebody fell off the shelf. Ash fell off the shelf. I am very sorry about Ash while I was filming that, but I don't feel like going back and re-recording this. R.I.P. Ash, because I think he died. Anyways, the figures look great. I'm a big fan of how they look. I don't know what I'd give a score. What did I give the score last time? I would say a 4.9 for a Lizard, and I would definitely say a 3.5. Good lord, I gave him a 4.9. That's a 3.9 right there. Not the best figure because of the breakage, and I guess I understand what they were coming from, but I mean, you needed more accessories for this to be a deluxe figure, to be honest, and I don't know why I gave it a 4.9. The Lizard, I'm going to drop a couple points because I feel like, you know, there's some things that could have been done a little bit different. Again, the sharper teeth, maybe a little bit more of a gloss look inside the mouth, maybe some other hands, I don't know, maybe an accessory like a steel pipe or something, I don't know. Because it's hard to really, like, you get these like $20, $25 figures and then you add like a deluxe version to it, but there's really nothing deluxe about it, especially with Electro. That's just kind of my opinion. Let me know what your guys is down below, but it's fun to look at these figures back and see what my thought process was back in the day. But that is pretty much all for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. I know it's something a little bit different and probably not as, I guess, fun as it probably should be. But I had fun, and I think that's all that matters. And I hope you guys had fun too watching this video and watching me struggle a little bit, I guess, on figuring out what to say in some spots. Because I kind of just downloaded the video and decided just to re-record it. I didn't look up any other, I didn't rewatch the video to see what I said. I'm just going with the flow, I guess, because I remember a pretty decent amount about these figures. And that's basically all I have to say. I don't know when the next time I'm going to look at a Marvel Legends figures, but it's not going to be anytime soon, I don't think. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Love you show. Take care. Bye-bye.